Let's take a look at the last 100 years of Somali fashion.
During the early years of the century, much like the suffragettes and the Black Panthers, Somalis utilized fashion as a political tool to make a statement. Very few vintage photographs show Somalis wearing European-style clothing. Instead, they continue to wear their traditionally styled guntino and salikade constructed with wrappers made of imported fibers, many of which were traded in from the West.
Although both men and women wore ornaments for ritual purposes, women wore the more valuable pieces of jewelry, both in decoration and as a form of portable wealth.
This extravagance and pride demotivated colonial imposition and efforts to exert dominance over the people as they have done in previous conquests throughout history. The 1950s onwards was something of a golden age for Somalia. Leading to their independence and the end of fascism, money started pouring in. Both infrastructural and educational development bloomed. The legal status of women in particular was exponentially improved as they could obtain land leases and inherit leaseholds. They could hold positions of leadership and civil administration. Women entered the government workforce in droves, whether wore a uniform of maxi-length dresses or matching two-piece outfits and turban-style headscarves. Renewed production of textiles in South Asia opened up new economic and trade opportunities for Somalis.
Later, in the 1970s and 80s, in much of the region, the wrappers of plain white cloth and uniforms adopted in the 1960s were exchanged for lightweight, colorful new imports from India and Japan.
These textiles were used for a new style of clothing, a loose-fitting dress called durak with a long piece of cloth called garbasor that could be used to cover the entire head and body.
However, they didn't last long.
Soon enough, with rising tensions and conflict as the government fell and civil war began, women in the country became afraid of calling attention to themselves and their wealth and began sporting the jilbab. The diaspora, however, made attempts to preserve cultural traditions and social institutions threatened by increasing modernization and Western influence. Sentiment and nostalgia surrounding national dress reinforced efforts to perpetuate national identity.
Whether it's at celebrations or in simply going about their ordinary lives, Somalis are not only keeping their memories alive, but are also setting the stage for what will happen to their nation in the future.